Jimmy Butler, he's a very interesting player to me.
He's like, oh shoot, I don't know where to go with the ball because I haven't been able to think.
It was a great series. Game 4 was one of the best games I've ever watched in my entire life. Now LeBron's a 4-time champion and Anthony Davis gets his first.
It's unacceptable. So happy when the Astros lost because it would definitely be a 2020 thing.
Yeah, I was impressed by their game. Braden Point, Andre Palat, Nikita Kucherov, that was the best line in the playoffs, no doubt.
Stay undefeated when they face the mighty Cowboys with Garrett Gilbert.
Hey everyone, I'm Jared Sandler, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by the man that I'm sure had a wonderful Sunday, Austin.
Micah Parsons made his impact on the Packers game after there were concerns with his injury. But they looked very good. I'm excited for the rest of the season. I'm excited for a lot of it. There was a lot of very good games, some weird games, and some not so good games. We've already talked a lot about Miami, so we'll avoid talking about them in too much detail. Let's start out with my surprise of the week, and then we'll go into yours to give you some time to think about it. My surprise of the week was how high-scoring Pittsburgh versus New York Jets was. The defenses, I think, were supposed to both be at least solid for both of these teams. And the offenses were supposed to be underwhelming, and that was just not the case. Aaron Rodgers threw 4 touchdown passes. Justin Fields had 1 touchdown pass with 2 rushing touchdowns. This is one of the most efficient days of Justin Fields' career, and both of the offenses, it really turned into who could score last, who was going to score last won the game. And while there was a 4th down play that Garrett Wilson couldn't hold on to the catch because of Jalen Ramsey, it really turned into that, and offenses is showing. What were your thoughts about this game?
Yeah, I was really surprised with how high scoring it was and just how well the Jets ran the ball. And just how well Breece Hall looked. That was really interesting to me.
Yeah. Do you think that either of these QBs can keep this up over the next couple of weeks, or is this going to be a sign of just how bad the defenses were for both of these teams will continue over past this week?
No, I think it was just how good the offenses were in their first week. I'm curious to see if they change over that, but I don't think it's an indication of how bad the defenses are.
Okay. What game do you want to go to next?
The next game, probably Steelers and Jets was surprising to me, but another surprising thing was the Bills and Ravens game. That was a game I went to bed during it, but then I woke up, I saw the score, and even when I was watching the whole game, I was like, how does it get to this score? And just because it didn't seem like the Ravens were doing anything wrong. It was just the Bills were playing incredibly well, except that fumble with the Ravens.
Yeah, the fumble was a major issue. And I will say, besides that fumble, Derrick Henry looks to be the best running back in the NFL, or at least in conversation for it again. And he's been in those conversations ever since probably the 3rd year of his career. It's still, I talked to my dad about this. Obviously, he is a Cowboys fan, and I always brought up how Derrick Henry wanted to come to Dallas, and Jerry Jones thought he was too old to be paid, and pretty remarkable what's happened for Derrick Henry since that point.
Yeah, he also could have been drafted if the Cowboys went a different direction with their first round pick and then drafted him in the 2nd round.
We've had that conversation, though, about how Zeke was not the wrong pick, but it's more, again, second contract.
Yeah, we've had that, but just kind of the long-term stuff and the value from that pick. But yeah, they also could have had him a few years ago.
Yeah. And another surprising game, Bengals versus Browns. I don't know if you watched this game at all. Both of the picks that Joe Flacco threw were terrible picks by the receiver. The receiver kind of threw it into the cornerback's hands on both picks. The Bengals offense looked horrible. Joe Burrow threw for like 112, 113 yards. Ja'Marr Chase looked bad. But this is usually how Joe Burrow goes. His weeks 1 are usually the worst weeks of his season. And I think that's true here. The Browns defense looks like it's back. It's healthy. Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward played really well against Ja'Marr Chase. But the Browns offense may be a little bit better than we expect.
Yeah, it could. But yeah, I also blamed, they were bad picks that went off the wide receiver's hands and into the defender. So yeah. And then another thing that I saw from week 1 was the Texans' offense was still struggling. I know the Rams' defense is really surprising how well they built that team defensively pretty quickly, given the retirement of Aaron Donald, but still, I expected more from the Texans' offense.
Yeah, it's really the O-line. The D-line
Yeah.
also for the Rams was a big part, but the O-line for the Texans just looks abysmal, especially early in that game.
Yeah, and I think it also goes to just the type of defensive pressure that the Rams can generate with rookie second-year players like Jared Verse. And it's really surprising how well they've built that team after a lot has happened and where they don't have a lot of first-round picks.
That's true. They did trade for some first-round picks to make sure that they could add to the roster the past couple of years. But yes, they have a small amount of those, and it looks like their defense is going to be very good this year. Are there any other games that really caught your eye this week?
I'd say the Cowboys game was a little bit surprising, just given how defensively they played and how well the offense looked. They still lost the game, and CD Lamb had some drops, but I think it was an impressive outing for them.
Yeah. Also, I mean, another game that was kind of surprising to me was the Raiders, how their offense played. Geno threw for 362 yards, which is pretty remarkable. I know Christian Gonzalez missed this game, but I think the Raiders are going to have a good offense this year, especially if they make sure to protect Geno Smith. This team had a lot of offensive yards, and that's only with Ashton Jeanty having 38 yards on 19 carries. And while I do think Jeanty's going to be good this year, the Patriots defense did a good job of halting him.
Yes, they did, and the Patriots are a team that I don't think it was bad. But yeah, I was surprised Jeanty didn't go off, but yeah, given where that offense is and kind of the expectations with Jeanty, it could work.
Yeah, and then lastly, the Bears-Vikings. Bears looked good early in the game. J.J. McCarthy threw that pick six, and then he turned it around. I think it's more good play calling and good decision-making by Kevin O'Connell, who I still think is a top 5 coach in this league, and Brian Flores, who's probably the best DC in football currently. It was a good game, though, and I expect both of these teams to be competitive this year.
Yeah, I was surprised with the comeback from the Vikings. But yeah, JJ McCarthy seemed to play better. And yeah, Brian Flores is a tough matchup for a first-year head coach offensively with Ben Johnson, then a second-year Caleb Williams.
That's true.
Yeah, so any final games, or is that pretty much a recap?
I think it's a good recap. There's a couple games we missed, but none of those were necessarily noteworthy. I think the Saints looked maybe better than we expected. Still, the Cardinals were the better team. But yeah, I expect week 2 to kind of be the same. I think Cam Ward struggled because, again, the Broncos were his first team to face in the NFL, and that's a tough matchup for any quarterback, let alone the first start of your career. But week 1 showed some promise.
And it was a great start to just having football back. It felt really nice, and I'm quote unquote out of football shape because it was hard to watch them back to back. But yeah, it was really exciting, and I'll let you close this one out.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Please let us know what you guys think about week 1 and what you expect for week 2.